Sometimes we trust someone so deeply that their presence alone brings us comfort. We share our troubles with them, tell them our secrets, and support them through hard times. We believe they are just like us, sincere, genuine, honest. But over time, something changes. You notice that the person you once felt so close to isn't quite the same. They no longer share their thoughts with you like before. And when they smile, there's no warmth in that smile. They're with you almost every day, yet feel distant from your heart. And you can feel it. You sense a hidden coldness in the air. That coldness has a name, but you hesitate to say it out loud. You fear you might be wrong, but deep down it hurts. You try to be patient and leave things to time, but you keep getting hurt again and again by this same person you once called your closest. Yes, it's painful to realize someone close to you hates you, especially if you once had a good relationship. It's hard to accept. But if nothing changes over time, and this person continues to behave this way toward you, then the truth becomes unavoidable. They hate you, and it's not that hard to feel that hatred, especially if you've decided to watch this video, because in this video, we'll talk about 8 signs that show someone secretly hates you. If you're curious to learn these signs, I recommend watching the video until the end. Sign number 1, they no longer celebrate your success. Sometimes you work really hard. You study day and night, work endlessly, and try to improve yourself. Behind every step, there's exhaustion, effort, and sometimes even tears. Eventually, you achieve something. Even if it's small, it's still a success. And naturally, you want to share it with someone, because joy becomes more beautiful when shared, right? So you tell the person you consider your closest. They smile at you, but something feels off. There's no joy in their smile. Their eyes are silent. There's no pride, no excitement in them. It's as if they silently wish it wasn't you who succeeded. Their words sound like congratulations, but their tone feels cold. Their gaze doesn't seem angry at you, but at your success. Even if they don't say anything outright, you can feel it. They are not happy for you. Because the more you advance, the more obvious it becomes that they are standing still. Your rise highlights their stagnation. Sometimes people see someone else's glow as a threat to their own dullness. And that's when genuine friendship gives way to quiet jealousy. If someone can't share in your joy, even if they're physically beside you, they're not truly with you. A friend is not just someone who stands by you in hard times, but someone who genuinely celebrates your wins. If someone watches you smile and feels bitter inside, that person is not your friend. Remember, some people won't congratulate you on your success because your success reminds them of what they didn't do. Your effort reminds them of their laziness. Your movement reveals their stillness, but that's not your fault. If you're moving forward, it means you're on the right path. Sign number 2, they always criticize you. You do something, you put your heart into it, you try your best. At the very least, you produce something with sincere intention, but someone is always dissatisfied. If you say, look how much effort I put in, they'll say, well, that's how it's supposed to be. If you say the result is good, they'll say, it's not bad, but there's always a but. They always find something wrong. They always say something isn't quite good enough. Even in your good deeds, they look for flaws. If you fail, you see, I told you you couldn't do it. If you succeed, it's just luck, it's not because of you. You never hear a genuine well done. Instead of supporting you, they drain your spirit and break your confidence. Instead of lifting you up, their hidden resentment pulls you down. They won't say, you did great. Instead, they'll say, if it were me, I'd do it better. Sometimes these criticisms come disguised as jokes. They laugh and say, oh, come on, you think that was a real achievement. But you know, there's bitterness behind that joke. They're trying to make you laugh, but in reality, they're belittling you to feel better about themselves. They may not intend to hurt you, but beneath their sarcastic words and forced smile lies a subtle insult. The worst part is that over time, you begin to question yourself. It's a very subtle process. Every time you hear one of those jokes, those words settle into your subconscious. Maybe I really can't do it. Maybe I'm not that valuable. These questions start to form inside you and gradually weaken your self-confidence. Every time you hear those jokes, the strength within you diminishes a little more. And here it is. They've already achieved their goal. These kinds of jokes aren't just words. They are meant to make you lose your sense of self-worth and make you feel like you constantly need to please others. You start doubting yourself and questioning your abilities and value at every step. Those criticisms may seem small, but over time they become a heavy burden. Without even realizing it, you lose faith in yourself. And perhaps most importantly, you stop seeing yourself for who you truly are. This isn't just a joke. This is a systematic attempt to belittle you and make you forget your worth. And the worst part? That person already feels victorious over you. You start to live with these internal doubts, and gradually, you move away from believing in your talents and strengths. The third sign, they constantly compete with you. Yes, these kinds of people enter into an actual competition with you. You do something, and they try to copy it, or even do a bigger version of it. Your successes, in their eyes, are just a starting point, as if your achievements give them motivation to one-up you. With every step, with every success, you see their eyes light up, because they now see themselves as your competitor, trying to produce something greater. Sometimes it feels like an endless race. No matter how far you go, they always seem to be aiming for something bigger right behind you. This race isn't just about outcomes. It's also a fight over who gets the attention and praise. They always want to be one step ahead, and that pushes them to view your efforts, your thoughts, even your dreams, as competition. Over time, this becomes exhausting. Every time you succeed, a few congratulations might come your way, but soon after, they're expected to do something even bigger and better. And it never ends. There's always pressure to go further. This kind of rivalry may teach you to strive for better, but it also makes it difficult for you to recognize your own value. It prevents you from fully appreciating your accomplishments the way you want to. Because every time you achieve something, someone else is already chasing something greater, and your success starts to feel less meaningful. In the end, as the race goes on, your confidence and sense of self-worth begin to shake, because this race never ends, and there are always people aiming to be bigger, better. It's not just about competition. It becomes a way for others to make themselves feel superior to you. So you're not only trying to achieve something for yourself, you're also constantly trying to prove your worth in the eyes of others, and somehow, that's never enough. The fourth sign of hidden hatred, they only reach out to you when they need something. This turns into a deeper kind of pain, because these people rarely value your presence. But when they face a challenge, when a problem arises, they immediately seek you out. You never truly feel like you're a consistent presence in their lives. You're just a tool, something they need in emergencies. They only see you as a close friend when it's convenient for them. Eventually, this relationship starts to follow a frustrating pattern. They might call and say, "Hey, how's everything going?" But it's just small talk. There's no genuine interest. They're not truly asking about your life, your feelings, or your successes. These conversations only arise when they need something from you, because they only see you when they're struggling. Days pass, they sort their lives out, and the calls stop. But in your life, they leave no lasting place. This becomes a deeply disappointing experience. Even though you might be the closest friend in their life, it only feels that way when they're in need. They become more present during those times. But in the days without you, you're just a shadow. As this happens again and again, it starts to wear you down. Each time you ask yourself, am I really only this important in their life? Is it only when they need something that I become visible to them? These feelings slowly but surely create a void within you. No matter how close they seem or how well they communicate with you, you're ultimately just a tool they turn to when things go wrong. Eventually, you start to find your place in these relationships, but always with a sense of disappointment. Because you want to be close to them, yet they only reach out when they need something from you. This repetitive cycle slowly weakens your inner strength. You begin to feel lonelier, questioning your own worth. Your life seems to have only a material value. You're seen merely as someone who can help. And this becomes so painful that over time, even when they don't need anything, you start to sense a coldness, a distance from them. That's why every time you need them, try to understand them or reach out with kindness, it just goes unanswered and feels increasingly unfamiliar. Gradually, you realize that the connection is one-sided, that they only extend a hand when they need something from you. It becomes a one-way street. As they say, your true worth is never truly acknowledged. The fifth sign of hidden hatred: they talk behind your back. These people are kind to your face, they smile and act like everything is fine. They greet you warmly and pretend to genuinely celebrate your success. Sometimes they even praise your ideas or recommend you to others. But then one day, you unexpectedly hear that they've said something unpleasant about you. A mutual acquaintance or a stranger approaches and says, "They said some critical things about you." At first you can't believe it. Everything seemed normal, right? But then you start hearing similar things from others, and you realize it's not a coincidence. It's a choice, a deliberate two-faced attitude. When they're with you, they act like your closest friend. But when you're not around, they start discussing you, questioning you, belittling you. Sometimes they undermine your accomplishments. Sometimes they express their jealousy under the guise of jokes. He thinks he's actually good at something. He acts like he's someone important. To be honest, I've never thought he was that smart. Comments like these slowly eat away at you. The most painful part is that it comes from people you trusted, people who know your secrets yet share them with others, or use them to boost their own egos by diminishing you in others' eyes. This isn't just betrayal, it's a clear sign of hidden hatred, because they can't openly admit the discomfort or jealousy they feel toward you, so they try to weaken you from behind. In relationships like these, you feel deceived, disrespected, and emotionally lost. On one side, there's a smiling face, and on the other, gossip behind your back. This double-faced behavior drains your spirit. You start to protect yourself, you speak less, you don't fully open up. Because you've realized that these people show one face in front of you and another behind your back. And this isn't just a lesson, it's an experience that changes you, toughens you. Because now you know, not every smiling face is a friend. Not everyone who calls you brother wants the best for you. Sometimes the quiet ones are just waiting for a chance to speak ill. So you walk away silently. Because once you've experienced this kind of betrayal, you can never be as pure and trusting as before. You become more cautious, more selective, stronger. Because you understand now, not every silence is just quiet. Some people stay silent just to suffocate you on the inside. The sixth sign of hidden hatred: they make fun of you. They pretend they're just joking. They laugh and make others laugh. But their words sting. They know your weak spots, your insecurities, your past struggles. They know you well enough to understand what hurts, and they use that knowledge to target you. These jokes are far from innocent, because beneath them is a tone that undermines your dignity, makes you feel small, highlights your flaws. You're always so hasty, always misunderstanding things. You forget everything anyway. Your fashion sense, wow. And then they add, "Oh, come on, we're just joking." But you feel it, this isn't a joke. It's veiled criticism, hidden humiliation. The worst part is that when others laugh at these jokes, you feel cornered. An unease builds up inside you, but if you speak out, you'll be labeled as too sensitive. If you respond, they'll say, "You're so delicate, you react to everything." This game isn't one-sided. They strike, then block your response. And so over time, you begin to stay silent. Something boils inside you, but you wear a fake smile. Because now you understand how they see you. They don't trust you, don't take you seriously, and put you down to feel superior. These jokes are tiny needles, quietly but deeply piercing you. And you realize these people don't want to be your friends. They keep you around to feel better about themselves. By lowering your value, they try to elevate theirs. They don't want to make you laugh. They want to make a joke out of you. And they hide behind the label of humor. Such relationships slowly wear a person down. The more you laugh along with their jokes, the more you lose yourself. The more you tolerate, the more they press you. And one day you start speaking less around them, sharing less, laughing less. Because you know, even when you laugh, they're just waiting for a chance to mock you. And in that silence, you learn something else. Some people don't make you laugh. They belittle you and then laugh. Not because they don't know the difference, but because that's exactly what they want. The seventh sign of hidden hatred: they secretly enjoy your failures. They won't say it openly. They might even be there for you on your bad days and say, "I'm really sorry." Their words might sound comforting, but from their tone, their eyes, and their body language, you sense something else, a subtle relief. It's like they're silently saying, "I'm glad this happened to you." They feel a hidden joy, though they try to conceal it, because your fall soothes their inner resentment and envy, at least a little. It's a very subtle feeling. You can't see it, but your soul feels it. When you face a hardship, miss an opportunity, or make a mistake, their behavior changes. Those who used to mock your successes now watch quietly and seem to feel a sense of victory. There's that familiar look in their eyes. "I told you so." They don't say it aloud, but inside they whisper, "He deserved it. His success was artificial anyway. Look at that, in the end he ended up like this." Your failure becomes their comfort, because when you were doing better than them, it disturbed them. They saw you as a rival in their own minds. But when you fall, even for a moment, they feel powerful. They don't shout their joy, they live it quietly, silently. They just change their behavior. For example, someone who used to talk to you a lot now just watches you, as if observing a fall from grace. And sometimes they mask it as a joke or a piece of advice. "Well, you were going too fast anyway, you should have been more careful." But you know how much venom is hidden in those words. That's not advice, it's an attempt to justify themselves. Your pain becomes their opportunity to prove a point. They tell themselves, "See, I wasn't wrong." Because they never wanted to be a part of your success. They were just waiting for the moment you'd fall. And that's one of the most painful things a person can feel, because during hard times you expect support, but instead you're met with silent satisfaction, and you finally understand. Some people don't really see you when you rise. They see you more clearly when you fall, because their hidden joy is wrapped in the silence of your sorrow. Those quiet smiles carry the most crushing message: "I never wanted to see you rise. I was just patiently waiting for you to fall." The eighth sign of hidden hatred: they don't want you to change. They were comfortable with the version of you that used to be weaker, struggling, incomplete. They knew that version of you, your flaws, your emptiness, your hardships. And that balance worked in their favor. But as you start working on yourself, becoming better, making positive changes in your life, they begin to act distant in a strange way. It's as if this new version of you no longer fits into their plans. The person they once laughed at, mocked, and saw as beneath them is now becoming someone else. And that change unsettles them, because you're no longer someone they can control. You're more confident now, quieter but more purposeful. You don't accept every joke, you don't internalize every word. You no longer seek their approval, and that scares them. Inside, they're thinking, "You've changed. You used to be more genuine. You take yourself too seriously now." But you know what's behind those words. They want to keep you in your old state, helpless, directionless, insecure. Because back then, you were easier to manage. Now that you're finding your path, you don't need them anymore. And that slowly pushes them out of your life. They feel it, and they begin to resist your growth. Sometimes passively, sometimes openly. The strangest part, they're supposed to help you, but they become obstacles. They should support you, but instead they start questioning you. As you change for the better, they begin to distance themselves. Because your transformation highlights their stagnation, your progress shows how stuck they are, and that deeply bothers them. They want you to go back to who you were. Sometimes they even wish for your weakness, not just to be okay with your struggles, but to feel comfortable around them. Because as you shine, their shadow grows, And in that shadow, they begin to feel uncomfortable, insignificant. But you've already changed. You've grown. You've started to rebuild your life. And now they must either accept that change or quietly be left behind. Because now you understand. Not everyone is happy for your success. Some people only love you when you're weak, because your strength unsettles them. So never forget, not every smile is from a friend. Sometimes even those closest to you may secretly harbor resentment. If you've noticed these 8 signs directed toward you, think deeply about them. And never let others' reactions distract you from your path. Remember, this kind of hidden hatred only proves one thing. You're on the right track. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. See you again soon.